Special thanks to Harmony Pond for working on this bit of the thumbnail. Looks really awesome. Thank you so much. Follow her stuff in the description and comment. Also, if you guys could do all the algorithm boosting stuff, like, subscribe, comment, blah, 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 that would really help. I'm close to 1,000 subs, and with the ever-growing capitalist regime slowly increasing the price of everything, including basic necessities, having YouTube as a secondary source of income is looking real good right now. I'm like a broke dude looking at wings. Anyway, enjoy the video. I think we as gamers don't value games that are simply, okay or just good or below average. We really tend to focus on the games that are either ludicrously good or games so bad they're impossible. I don't know if you've picked up on this trend on my channel or not, but I like to focus on this gray area in between, mostly because I think it's better than just beating a dead horse or jerking off a living horse. I don't think that's a phrase people say. Well, on December 1st of 2022, Marvel's Midnight Suns fell into the world with a sturdy thud, and people looked at it and went, okay, and moved on. And I, like the grubby, disgusting little worm that I am, kept poking it with a stick a bunch until suddenly, oh my god! So, like everybody who saw this game on release, like the little trailer probably is asking, what the fuck is a Midnight Sun? Basically just think of the Midnight Suns as the Avengers, but they're also Ghostbusters that focus on paranormal bullshit, like demons, vampires, all that shit. Why the fuck would you make a game about the Midnight Suns? Technically speaking, they did not. This game is padded to shit with people who do not fit the Midnight Suns mold at all. But hey, you try and sell a game where Morbius would be unironically the third most popular member of the team. Also, it seems that the history of Marvel crossover games has been painfully frustrating at best, or a goddamn tragedy at worst.
But H-Man, what about the Marvel mobile game?
Oh yeah, the game. So, Midnight Suns is a card-based, deck-building, tactical RPG with aspects of a social sim, third-person adventure puzzler splashed in with flavor. Yes, that is a wordful, but hey, every system in the game is alright, I guess. Let's tackle them one by one. Just like a certain super cool JRPG game, you gotta balance out your social shit to be better in combat. It's not mandatory, but it is highly incentivized. It's super simple. After missions, sometimes at night, you get a random chance to hang out with certain people. They'll be in one area just posted up, which I guess is fine. You get a cool big talking moment, which gives you more friend points, and then you can give them a gift to add even more friendship points to really double down the friendship. Each hero has their own individual friendship level. When you level that up, it adds more points to the team friendship level. That one's not that important, honestly. You'll mostly want to use it just to get the team combo cards, which is just a card that lets two heroes team up. Does pretty cool damage. You rank that up. If you rank up the team friendship level even more, you'll just get extra value for compliments and a gift shop where you can buy higher tier gifts for your friends. It's the individual hero friendship levels that are actually really, really good, mostly because that's how you unlock their passives, which you unlock their passives at rank 2, which still baffles my mind because the passives that a hero can have are either okay at worst and fucking game-changing at best. So I don't know why they decided to do that. I would have just put it at rank 1 because, I can definitely see a new player not running with any heroes that they don't have the passives unlocked for, because the passives are just that good sometimes. When you reach maximum friendship level with somebody, you get to the opportunity to unlock their Midnight Sun challenge, which is that's when this game really delves more deep into the puzzle side. Where you do that, you unlock their Midnight Sun's ability, which is basically just a super ultimate ability, and their Midnight Sun's costume. Some of the Midnight Suns costumes are cool, some of them are not, but hey, they're pretty cool. Don't stress about getting them though, you get them at the end of the game just for reaching the final boss, so that's cool. Oh, and if you're going into this thinking that this is going to be fucking like Persona's social link system, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but no, half of the actual stories, if you can even call them that, in the little friendship thing is usually just the hero finding something to respect in your hunter character guy. Funnily enough, And strangely enough, my favorite one of these, and the only one that actually kind of has an arc, is fucking Deadpool, of all people. So, take that for what you will, I guess. And no, you can't romance any of the Marvel heroes, which is both a blessing and a curse. A blessing, because, you know, you'll be able to fucking see how some of these character models look in the background footage. Imagine them having to make a fucking intimacy scene with that fucking creature. But a curse is that there is definitely an audience for somebody who wants a Marvel light dating sim, especially for the fucking strange people. I was debating whether to mention this mechanic either now or later, but I guess I'll fucking talk about it now. In dialogue choices, you have options for light answers and dark answers. Yeah, your customizable character has light and dark balancing. Not karma, because, you know, you can be a complete and utter dick, but still fight for justice. I guess in more of a stand-in, do you reject your mom's dark magic fucking roots, or do you balance it with the light? It has effects on gameplay too, but for the social sim aspect, some heroes will respond to some light and dark options easily. Most of them, it's like a mixed-ish bag. Some, you know, most people probably won't like being fucking treated like a supervillain. But there are people who react to exclusively good options, but, you know, that fucking makes sense for some people. Spider-Man and Captain America are the most goody two-shoes niggas in Marvel, so, yeah. And then fucking Magic and Deadpool being evil, just dark options all the time, is usually the best for some reason. So yeah, there's probably a lot of disappointment around not having super in-depth friendship mechanics with mini arcs for every single hero, but, it's fine. I feel like every character's personality fits, even though I don't know, like, 3 of these heroes in depth enough to make it. And, oh yeah, this mechanic that I always forget is in the game. Certain heroes break off into separate cliques of their own things. Like, there's a book club that forms with Blade, Captain America, Captain Marvel, and Wolverine. There's a shop class thing with Spider-Man, Robbie Reyes, Ghost Rider, and Iron Man. Yeah, if that happens, that's just more opportunities to up your friendship and get some cool upgraded abilities, and that's pretty cool also. But hey, if you're ever exhausted by your superhero compatriots, you can always just take a walk outside your little Abbey safe house thing and enjoy the fucking lovely weather. Or you can just fucking run around and pick shit up like a goddamn human vacuum, you fucking slut. Okay, so the exploration/puzzle outdoor roaming around thing is the least important cycle of the game, mostly because, as the game puts it, it is 100% optional. You'll never need to use it at all, because the only reward you get from it is little materials from the shit on the ground and skins from the chests thrown about outside and stuff. So hey, if you really want to go for those skins, you can just grab a bunch. I did it mostly because I just thought it would be fun, and it was kinda and you know, you get an opportunity to use your cool demon dog Charlie in fights, so that's also pretty cool. Looping back around to the crafting things, you can craft a whole bunch of stuff. Some of it's good, some of it's not as good. I mostly just used it to craft the healing card, because if you're not playing a light side hunter, healing can be pretty sparse in the mid part of the game. But you know, I'll talk about that more when we get to the combat. But yeah, you can craft if that entertains you. Holy shit, I completely forgot about this mechanic. So actually, opening chests ups your mysticism level, or finding something ups your mysticism mystery fucking level while exploring. That gives you better stuff, because that allows you to, when you open a chest, you actually get a combat bonus. You have a chance to get a combat bonus when you open a chest, so hey, that's also something, I guess. Everything about the exploration thing, it's not bad. Not bad at all, but it just sort of exists. And you know what else exists? This game's story, because oh my god. That transition made it sound like the game's story is bad, but no, it's just sort of fucking, it's there. It's a story that needs to be added. Nothing groundbreaking, but it didn't need to be. So, for the first time in my channel doing stuff, I'm going to actually summarize the story, not beat by beat. Mind you, I'm not gonna fucking go insane. I don't even remember some of this shit. But, brace yourself. So basically the game starts with Hydra, more specifically Dr. Faustus, resurrecting Lilith because it made it sound like he kind of just wanted to pipe Lilith, but no, she's gonna take over the world with demons and shit for vague reasons that we do not know yet. After trying to get help from Ghost Rider, original Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze, and Johnny Blaze basically tells him to fuck off, Doctor Strange, Iron Man, and Captain Marvel get pushed back to the Sanctum Sanctorum. That ends up getting taken by Lilith and her demons, but they're taken to the place called the Abbey, a pocket dimension where the new Midnight Suns, which consist of Blade, Nico Minoru, Magic, and Robbie Reyes' Ghost Rider, are there, and they're all led by Caretaker Sarah, who's basically like their super teacher and stuff. They march to the Abbey because, you guys are heroes. Plus, they would like Strange's help to resurrect the Hunter, aka Lilith's daughter, aka your customizable playable character. Side tangent, the game is heavily leaning towards your Hunter being a woman. There's the woman on the cover art. The Abbey is in Salem, which, the witch trials, registered trademark, happen, and everything just sort of makes sense. Plus I like the female VA more than fucking Matthew Mercer phoning it in with a discount British Yusuke impression.
-5. Ration paste.
That was truly cringeworthy.
It felt like they made the male option mostly because they had to, or else a bunch of people would be like, I gotta play as a woman. Grah. So they wake up your Hunter and they team up with the heroes to start the huge crusade against Lilith. And then they fucking fall down a flight of stairs. Here's a list of all the bad things that happen to you and your group of heroes during the entirety of this game. Scarlet Witch, Venom, Sabretooth, and Bruce Banner turn the Hulk, gets corrupted by Lilith and joins their side because mind fucking. Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider fucking dies. The Sanctum Sanctorum gets destroyed. Avengers Tower gets destroyed. I'm not making that fucking joke, you edgelord. All the while, the Earth is getting turned into a demon playground where people are getting ripped apart. And if they're not getting ripped apart by demons, they're getting shot up by fucking Hydra people. So yeah, it's kind of bad. Yeah, you're basically on the ropes since day one, only getting the smallest of victories in the form of more heroes joining your fight, like Spider-Man, Wolverine, all the others. That goes pretty well. Until you finally get info that maybe this cool knife can go and kill gods. And then, boom, the big twist is revealed at the end of the game, where you think your evil mother was going to use this evil book called the Darkhold to get this turbo evil god to destroy the world. But in reality, she wanted to bring the god into the mortal realm so then you and her could kill it together. But she completely fucks up, and then they try and take over your Hunter's body. But then you fight off the corruption, and you fight and beat the god by stabbing the book with the god killer thing. And then the entire unit, then the in-pocket dimension of Chthon self-destructs. And then you and your mom fucking die in the explosion because you both got corrupted by the book, so that means you couldn't leave that dimension. They die. And in the post-credit scene, your heroes think, oh, maybe we can revive him. We did just do a bunch of magic bullshit, so maybe we can try. However, there is a glimmer of hope in the second end credit scene, which is sequel bait, where fucking Doctor Doom finds the Darkhold, literally a direct upgrade from Lilith, by the way, and then just grabs it and says, I could do better, because he's so fucking cool. I love Doctor Doom.
Amateurs.
He should have been the bad guy for this. I know why they went with Lilith, because that's more comic accurate to the actual Midnight Suns, so all fucking 10 of you Midnight Sun fans out there can rejoice for that, but God. Oh yeah, and the DLC story, I guess I'll quickly go over that. Vampires. More specifically though, Doctor Doom hired Deadpool to look for the Vampire Bible, but Sin wants the Vampire Bible to do evil vampire things. Deadpool breaks the book, hides from Doom by joining the Midnight Suns. Venom, after being defeated earlier in the game, lives to the sewers where he eats vampires and becomes Blood Venom. He's so far gone, but Mephisto shows up and goes, hey, I'll save your ass if you promise to kill all these vampires for me. I'm the devil, by the way. And yeah, We save Venom, and he forces Spider-Man and the Hunter to take a deal to, do all the vampires. We fight Dracula in the church thing. The end. The Morbius part. Mitchell Morbius fucking makes a vampire serum that makes the vampires be able to go out in daylight. Dracula wants that shit for obvious reasons. The formula works, but because Dracula mass-produced it, it diluted the formula, so that means it only works for like 20 minutes. All the vampires die, and Dracula goes, "Grah," and then runs away. And then the Storm part. There's this one mutant that the vampires want because she had vague powers. I think it's supposed to be Pixie, but I don't fucking know. But they want her, but Storm shows up and goes, "You're not fucking touching that good. Then leave that child alone. Leave that little guy alone." And then fucking Storm says no. And then you beat the shit out of Dracula and Sin. And then the final DLC one, all 4 DLC people and your Hunter come together and go, "We're fucking sick of your shit." Storm zaps the ever-living shit out of Sin. Sins are flying. And then you go beat Dracula. He gets buried under a bunch of rubble, so he's probably not dead. Who knows? Whatever the fuck. And then the end credit scene of the DLC is Sin crawling out from where Storm shocked the fuck out of her. Boom, she's Red Skull now. And that's the DLC. Like I said, it's vampires. I say it like that, but honestly, I think I like the DLC story more than the base one. Crazy. But enough about this cringe story and social salmon running around picking up garbage. Let's get to the fucking backbone of this game, the gameplay. So, like I said, this is a deck-building, card-based, tactical RPG type of thing. There are all people on the board, draw your card, deal the damage, or do whatever the card says. You get a starting deck of cards, you get 2 redraws at the start. Some cards have special properties and crap. I'm not... fuck it, I'll go through some of them, some of the card properties and stuff. There are 3 card types. There are attack skills, support skills, and heroic skills. Attack skills, fucking attack. I don't know why I need to say that to you. Support skills, they do some level of support, like giving you more, like letting you draw more cards. Giving you and your team shield. My fucking throat. Giving you and your team shields. Straight up healing, applying positive buffs to your team, stuff like that. And then there's your heroic abilities. Usually those are just attack moves, but they deal more damage or have some other special effects like lifesteal or other stuff like that. The most important card properties, to me at least, are quick cards, which if you kill an enemy with them, you automatically get a card play back, and any cards that give resist, because, that lets you take 1 hit. As many stacks of resist, that's how many hits you can take before you start taking damage again. Those are my 2 favorite cards, so you should always try and go for ones that give you those buffs. It's like a mini Goober's Guide. Oh, and by the way, the highest difficulty I played on was Heroic 2, so keep that in mind in my critiques if you're a super hardcore gamer game. I think the thing that really sets this game up for me gameplay-wise is that failure is 100% your fault if you're playing badly. Yeah, there's the RNG of, drawing the right cards, redrawing bad cards, all that stuff, but there's always a way to win, no matter how bad your hero setup, because we'll get to that. Some heroes are not that good with each other, but as long as you use all the tools at your power, you can get out of it in one piece. And another thing I just want to point out, and something that this game does really well, is that I can actually fucking have fun with the roster they give me. Side tangent time, the biggest issue I have with Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 is that the game just fucking railroads you into either using newly unlocked heroes or fucking grinding out a hero that you want to play. Meaning that, you have to... just the idea that you have to spend literal hours of grinding just to get one character to level up, just to get the XP cubes, to level them up is fucking insane. Why would you give me a huge roster and then fucking punish me for wanting to try out multiple ones at different sections of the game? And yes, I'm looking at you too, you fucking skeevy fuck. You're lucky I had to cut out your section of talking about you during the script of this game. God damn. But no, Midnight Suns is actually good. Not only does the game scale your lower level heroes upwards with you automatically so they don't fall behind, because you'll never know when where you'll have to use a certain hero for a certain mission, but it also but it also, has the general enemies be scaled to your group around. So if you have heroes of 3 different levels, they're all gonna find, the medium middle ground of it. And if it's still too easy for you, there's like 80 bajillion different difficulty settings that you can move up to for higher rewards and higher XP gain. You wanna have a team of Blade, Morbius, Hulk? Go for it. Want a team of Iron Man, Ghost Rider, and Captain Marvel? Completely power inefficient, but you can do it and probably still win. Captain America, Nico Minoru, and Storm, go for it, dude. It's fun. It lets you go back and forth. Meanwhile, Ultimate Alliance 3 goes, wait, you want to use one of the Guardians of the Galaxy in the Hell section? You fucking get out that grindstone, fuckface. You're gonna need those XP cubes if you want them to even be half as good at that point. Like I said, the hero combos are so good, it almost makes you want to talk about each individual hero. But only an insane person would do that. I was originally going to do your custom hunter character last, but then I was like, oh no, I'll just do it in the character selection screen. But then I realized the character selection screen is just alphabetical order, and then I wondered what I was doing with my life and I'll ever actually contribute to society. Anyway, the hunter's only real gameplay choice lies more in their light and dark balance. They have general moves that don't have any light and dark attributes within them. But those are more, general moves, like either just slash, knockback, giving you some positive buffs like counter and block and stuff like that. But the light and dark is where it gets special. The light moves are generally just support moves, or moves that get better over time, like the Morning Star, or the only just straight up regular heal in the game. Those are pretty good. That's what I went through in my first playthrough, and it's honestly really hard going without it in the dark playthrough. But the dark side one has its own benefits, because that just gives you damage by any means necessary, even if it means giving you downsides, like a vulnerability thing, or straight up taking away health to boost all your cards, or healing somebody to full by taking damage by damaging yourself. Like I said, it's pretty cool. And, I'm assuming you could probably have a nice mix match of light and dark, but I didn't do that because I'm a nerd for contextual stuff that makes sense. So, yeah, the hunter's a real jack of all trades, master at nuts, or something like that. Oh, and before I continue with the rest of the heroes, I just want to iterate that there are no bad heroes in this game. All of them are viable. It's just that some are a bit more viable than others. Okay, cool. Let's actually start now. Blade carries the early game because Bleed is really good, and it's still good throughout the middle part of the game. So yeah, solid throughout, but his kit is a bit too dependent on Bleed sometimes. Like, he has 2 cards, Reaper and the Hunger, that are pretty cool, but if an enemy doesn't have Bleed yet, you're kind of fucked. Especially get a bit redundant when his passive just says, oh, any move you have can just do Bleed now. So yeah, like I said, Blade's cool. Captain America, the first real tank you'll more than likely be getting. Captain Marvel, you get her first, but she's more like a tank DPS hybrid. Anyway, Cap is probably my favorite tank to use. Steve Rogers is just a fun guy to listen to, especially in this game. I would 100% romance him if given the chance, but anyway, if you're dead set on using Cap, I'd speedrun his friendship to get his upgraded passive, which just gives him block after each turn. And if you stack that up well, along with using his other moves, he'll basically be unkillable. He'll always have block up, so awesome hero. The pseudo-tank I mentioned earlier, I think I knew giving you someone like Captain America in the beginning of the game would probably be broken. But hey, Captain Marvel stands out her own with her binary mode. Basically, if you play like 2 or 3 Captain Marvel cards, you unlock her ability to go binary, which gives her a damage buff and block. She stays in binary as long as she has block, so basically you're going to want to save all of her moves that give her block for when she actually has the binary. And her passive, which allows her to get a stack of counter after she beats an enemy, can go really hard, especially if she has the binary, meaning she can pump out a lot of damage. Cool hero. Deadpool, the first DLC character that we'll talk about and added to the game. Though with the DLC characters, you'll notice that they were dead set on giving them real set-in-stone gimmicks to make them worth the money. But Deadpool's done is the El Fuego mechanic, which basically means whenever he takes out an enemy, his cards get enhanced. But he loses a bit of Enfuego whenever he takes damage. So you're going to want to have people who can draw aggro, like Captain Marvel, Hulk, and Wolverine easily. If you can tolerate Deadpool's voice lines, he can be a pretty cool person to have on your team. Even though this is honestly like my favorite video game version of Deadpool, it's still Deadpool, but they took it in the right direction character-wise. Doctor Strange kind of goes hard. His whole mechanic is that his moves can get enhanced when he has more heroism. The special pool of power points that charges up heroic moves. The more of that you have, the better he does. He's also a pretty cool support hero, especially if you go down the Dark Side Hunter route. You're gonna need his support abilities, but his only real downside is that damage-wise, limited. Robbie Reyes is Ghost Rider. He was the only hero in the game that I genuinely disliked using at a point, but that's just because it took me a while to understand his playstyle. Basically, he's fucking Dark Side Hunter. That's another reason why I didn't really enjoy him. He's fucking Dark Side Hunter, but given a whole character. So most of his high damaging moves usually come at a cost of health, or some other thing like discarding a card on hand. But he can chain most of his stuff back to back, and every time he does stuff with his passive, whenever he kills a bunch of people, he gets maximum health and automatically draws a card that gives him lifesteal because most of his fucking moves take away HP. Pretty cool, I guess, but yeah. Okay, the big fucking green elephant in this room. I'm of two minds about Hulk, just like, get it, Hulk, Bruce Banner. I'm gonna kill myself. On one hand, the Hulk is not in this game for 99% of it. I think the mission where you unlock the Hulk is literally the last one before the main story mission, which is fucking goofy. But then, when you play him and unlock all of his moves, you may be able to see why, because the Hulk is a little fucking overpowered in this game. Maybe not overpowered, but at least this is the most accurate game version of the Hulk I've seen in a while, because this man can fucking wreck shit. So his passive allows him to, whenever he takes damage, it builds up his rage, and his rage straight up just makes him do more damage, and it can be ridiculous. It can be absolutely positively ridiculous. His Midnight Suns card is basically an I win button. That's how fucking insane he is.
We've done it. Excellent work.
Damn, nigga! But another downside about the Hulk is that, he doesn't have a friendship. You just can't interact really with Dr. Bruce Banner or anything, which is a huge missed opportunity. Hulk just keeps getting done dirty in media. First the MCU, then being a fucking pushover in Marvel's Avengers. But hey, in this game, at least he can play better than fucking Hulk in Marvel's Avengers. Fuck that guy. The Hulk is genuinely just a mixed bag of green rock candy. Bad for your health, but so fun to put in your mouth. Wait, Iron Man is my favorite hero to play in this game. His entire mechanic of hoarding all the fucking redraws for himself is not only in character, but if utilized right, is super fun. Basically, the more Iron Man cards you have in your deck, the better, because most of his moves require Iron Man cards to be more effective. So that means you redraw all the stupid, dumb, not Iron Man cards, and make them into cool Iron Man cards. Peak hero, peak playstyle, peak Midnight Suns outfit and move. But, man, that fucking model. I always somehow forget that Magic is in this game, despite her literally being there, like, having the most screen time out of everybody, because, she has to open the portals to and from every mission. But her playstyle is actually pretty cool, honestly. Knocking people off the map or into other obstacles with the portals is, unique. And her one Heroica to summon a new hero can also come in clutch if the fucking hero is good and their cards they draw aren't garbage. Mitchell Morbius, definitely the most underwhelming of the DLC heroes. So, he can generate Bloodlust by playing his cards, then the Bloodlust gives him bleed damage and block. If you run out of block, then that runs out. He's basically a combination of Captain Marvel and Blade, which is funny because Blade wants to pipe Captain Marvel in this game, so it's funny. I could see the intended style and even the gameplay dichotomy between his vampire rival Blade, but it just never caught on enough for me to warrant using him for long. Plus, it incentivizes that he has the bleed for counter strikes as well, but he only has one move where he can do counters, and you don't get it by default, so that was also pretty goofy. Yeah, tough break, Morbius. Who the fuck is Nico Minoru? I barely know, but she's definitely one of my favorite heroes in this game. Who knew that a character based entirely around RNG would fit so well in a strategy game? I guess it's because most of the outcomes don't really negatively affect you. It's always a bonus, it's just not really the intended bonus that you could be looking for at that moment. But it's still good, so, balance it out. Just be careful if luck is not on your side. Also, I kept calling her Nico Maru while recording this and typing it in the script, so, yeah. If I had a nickel for every time Scarlet Witch was an underwhelming character to play as in a video game, I'd have 2 nickels. Which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. So, Scarlet Witch's whole gameplay gimmick is that she's a heavy position character. She can punish enemies and buff allies when they're near her. A fine gimmick to have, but then you're hit with the realization of, wait a minute, why can't I just hit people with my other damaging things? It's not like she does bad damage in comparison, but it's just a lot more work for the same amount of effort. Plus, it doesn't really work if you're not fighting a lot of people, so that too. Spider-Man does what other people does, but worse. Wait, okay, no, it's not true at all. Spider-Man's whole gimmick is that he relies more on environmental attacks, the environmental assets laid around the thing, more than other people. His passive allows him to use it for fucking free, or at a reduced cost, but most time it will be for fucking free, and they do more damage. But once the environmental things are gone, he is alright. He's sort of like a reverse Scarlet Witch, where he's dependent on enemy positioning, since some of his moves can actually hit more people when they're close together. So, yeah, good for Spider-Man, and he's still voiced by Yuri Lowenthal, so that's cool. I can fucking eat his voice all day.
Let's go, man, before he gets too far.
No. You'll keep your black ass right here.
Storm's fascinating because she was the last DLC character to be released, and it shows because they were kind of running out of gimmick ideas when she was being worked on. Because, hers is probably the only one that doesn't really make a lot of sense. Her whole gimmick is that her moves get enhanced if you wait to use them on her next turn. Which, is cool. Some of the buffs they get are pretty awesome, but the only one I see is always worth the wait is the one that turns one of her moves into a quick move. Other than that, though, just go with him. Not a bad hero, just strange. No, not fucking you. Man, I am just not making the DLC look good, aren't I? Yeah, Venom is also sort of slightly underwhelming. His gameplay is basically a reverse Deadpool, where he has this mechanic thing where he gets the damage buff. It starts out max, but I think it lowers each time you play an attack or a heroic card. You gain one whenever you don't attack, you gain one at the end of every turn. So I guess his playstyle is that you're supposed to build it up for one big attack, but most of his attacks don't deal that much damage for that one big attack to really hit. So, yeah. Just, it sounds unique, but, I just prefer hitting people sort of, now instead of later. Even if it means later I would do more damage. And Wolverine, the definition of all bark and no bite, because he has taunt moves, but he doesn't really have the health to back it up. Now they try and balance this by having his, Wolverine's constant health regen be a factor, because his passive is whenever you redraw a card, he just gets back health, which is cool, and he has some moves that regen health. One of them, it only does it when it's one of them says it can only do it when he's not able to act, so I thought, when he's down or incapacitated. No, it means if there's no other Wolverine cards in the deck, and then you can use it to heal him up. Very strange, probably should be detailed better, but other than that, Wolverine's pretty cool balancing act. He's like Ghost Rider, but better. That's a good girl, that's for true. That's all the heroes. If you want to break down the cards, go to the fucking strangely well-kept wiki. But now it's time for H-man's miscellaneous section. Woo! Alright, let's talk about bugs and performance first. On my PC, it ran well. I kept hearing reports that it wasn't running well on other people's computers. Hell, my roommate got this game and it crashed several times on him, and he refunded it due to how fucking bad it was. But, so I guess it is straight up just a roulette on whether the game will, be completely fine or not. Now, in its current state, I think it's working just fine. Weirdly enough, though, during the progress, almost every patch that added the new DLC characters one by one, it would make the game sort of run worse. It's crazy. But like I said, that's over it now. Game runs moderately fine. The only time you'll have any real issues, I guess, is during long play sessions, so you take that with caution. Bugs though, no game-breaking bugs, not anymore. Worst case scenario, I'm trying to remember what people reported, because I didn't have that much of a buggy experience, but other people were saying like, oh, my save file got corrupted, and this was around the game launch, and stuff like that. But bugs now, worst case scenario, there'll be like a pathfinding bug where your character will take a weird path to get to the enemies. An annoying one is that an enemy will die, but their body will stay on the board, and it'll still be there and take up space, which is pretty strange. But hey, and I remember this happening vividly. Out of nowhere, like, I did a move, and then every character, like, fell through the floor, and then just came back up right when the move was done. That was really weird, but nothing game breaking. It's just goofy ass bugs. Look at this fucking storm clip.
Hello, honey. I won't go in to survive.
Bro. And let's just handle the two negative fucking things off the bat. Let's just rip the band-aid off with the first one. Man, some of these character models suck ass. I'm convinced Peter Parker's model is genuinely like a stock asset. They look just so weird. Like, I'm not talking even graphical fidelity, I'm talking about the art style wise. In costume, all the heroes look fine and dandy and stuff like that. But it looks like anybody who wasn't exclusively a Midnight Sun just got the shaft when it comes to having their character model look. I will pay money to never see Tony Stark with just a mustache, a fucking caterpillar low poly mustache slapped onto his face ever again. And another thing is the clothes. I can tell that the clothes was just an afterthought. Like, you can literally tell that it's just an asset with slight paint over it. All the NPCs, the perfect way to figure this out is just looking at the NPCs during cutscenes. They just look so unnatural. And all the clothing, it's literally just, oh, that's the exact same fucking shirt model that I can have Captain America wear, but it's plastered black and maybe has an Avengers logo on it and stuff like that. The clothing is just weird in general. It's so strange. And some of that leaks into outfits, like fucking most of the DLC shop outfits. We'll get to those, but some of those look really fucking stupid. Like, I wasn't really rocking with the Maestro skin, any of the punk rock skins that a lot of people had, and other shit like that. Hell, some of the Midnight Suns costumes kind of suck ass. Magic got some weird fucking helmet thing, which maybe it makes sense in context of their stuff, but it looks stupid. And Morbius just got fucking shafted. This is just a gold, it genuinely just looks like a gold repalette of his fucking original skin, which is lame. So, there was that. And another thing that bothers me, the lack of real voice lines between the heroes. When you go out on patrol, unless you're using a specific combo, none of the heroes really speak to each other, like, at all. If I have to hear Blade say, yo mama, ever again, I'm gonna lose my shit. It's so lame. The only ones I can remember hearing is, like, Captain America saying something to Captain Marvel, like, oh, I'm still the real Captain, or fucking Deadpool saying something about Storm, like, oh, you were always my favorite X-Man, Deadpool, ha ha ha. Just fucking underwhelming. And then the fucking DLC store. That one I 100% believe was just 2K being like, grah, we need long-term monetization. Even though some of the skins are either fine skins, but they clash with all the other outfits, so it doesn't work, or they're just bad skins. They're just dumb. There's a lot of shit that's padded. There's a lot of costumes padded, like the fucking swimsuits. Why the fuck is that a thing? I would rather have each character have customly modeled swimsuits than just generic ones that they can swap with each other that look really, really dumb. And I can't put Speedos on anybody. Why can't I put a Speedo on Doctor Strange, huh, game? So yeah, those were just like, that one's the part that irks me, because out of all the things to do underwhelming at the game, it's the things that would have fucking really made a big safety net over the game if they have done it well, if the characters looked better, interacted with each other much better, because like, the most you'll get now is just them standing around the Abbey, existing in each other's presence, and only interacting with them when during set scripted things, or for a hero mission, or whatever the fuck. Wasted potential all around in that area of, the area of creative, I guess. Eesh, that was a real negative way to end it, honestly. Probably structure these better, but, nah. Anyway, I started this video emphasizing how important okay to good games are, because those are, like, the platforms to reach great games, like, amazing games. But I don't think Midnight Suns pulled in enough people. Hell, 2K themselves said that that the game did not sell well. It was kind of a flop. And you know what makes this even more painful? The Abbey hub area, where all the heroes, each hero has their own little bedroom. There are, with the base game of heroes and the DLC, there's 16 rooms filled out of the 20. That means they definitely plan for a second DLC pack to drop, which fucking sucks. It's probably not going to happen. So, I'm gonna make it. Fuck it, why not? So it's clear from the ending of the first DLC we'll more than likely be dealing with Red Skull. Sin turned Red Skull. So, I don't fucking know, man. Have her just use zombies. That sounds fun. Their special little zombie mechanic could be reducing your maximum HP, which can be undone with cure moves. Or maybe they could have a thing where they gain vulnerability, but some kind of counter, because, you know, zombies be unrelenting, or something. And of course, the heroes of my choosing will be Moon Knight, a character who 100% should just be in the base game. Hell, they made jokes about him not being in the game, hyping up the release of the game. He's referenced in tarot cards just like Storm, and he's one of the only other Marvel heroes who has an outright connection to the supernatural. And I can even see his fucking playstyle working out. He can be that, you know, in the middle of combat, he bounces back and forth between his personalities, Mark Spector, Jake Lockley, and Stephen Grant. Like, fucking Mark Spector could focus on, like, chain strikes and moves that follow up, like attacking and stuff. Stephen Grant could focus on quick moves and giving the support moves. And Jake Lockley could focus on debuffing and his heroic abilities with some downsides or whatever. And his passive can be whenever you switch the personalities, you gain a buff. Like, Mark Spector getting strengthened, like Stephen Grant giving fast, and Jake getting resist. Doesn't that sound fun? Hire me. Gambit is a personal choice for me because I think he is just super, super cool. Just like how Morbius was a cross between Blade and Captain Marvel, maybe his playstyle can be a cross between Scarlet Witch and Nico Minoru, where he just, he has RNG, but it's in an area of effect or something. Because I honestly didn't know that Gambit's power was kinetic energy. I thought he just had cool purple powers because, you know, I was a stupid kid. But his passive can be that his explosion radius slowly increases with each turn. Plus, like, come on, if he added that voice, that voice would be hot as fuck. Gotta add a wild card who really does not fit the mold. That's basically this game's MO. And Black Widow seemed like a cool choice. I don't think they can implement a whole new mechanic just for dodging like I had in my head, but they could just make her, like, have a lot of quick moves and counter-based stuff. And her passive can be she has a slim chance for any of her cards to just get the quick or free status effect. Basically, I want to make her like a glass cannon. She could technically do a lot with her quick and free moves and build up a counter for when she does eventually get hit, but she has like super low HP because, you know, she's fucking Black Widow. And lastly, I added Elektra mostly just to add more women to the game, and anti-heroes, honestly. Because, you know, cool ninja lady, why not? Her playstyle can be revolving around punishing enemies with debuffs, because, you know, that sounds like something maybe she would have. I don't know anything. Did I mention I'm not a huge Marvel fan? That would probably be important to mention. But her passive can be giving her a random buff per debuff enemy. So, like, if there's like 5 debuffed enemies, there's a chance that she could get a buff for each one, which can cap out for like, maybe it can cap out at like 3 to make it not overpowered. Those are my main 4, but honestly I had some backups, so I'll just list those here. They're not gonna have a full gameplay breakdown though. I could definitely see him being a cool addition, but I just couldn't think of a unique playstyle for him. Sorry, bud. Same for Iron Fist, but blind. My original idea for a Guardians rep was going to be Star-Lord, but then the idea of a co-op hero just sounded so fucking badass. This one, I would love it to happen, but it's probably not gonna. But I can still dream. Honestly, one of the only other supernatural heroes besides Moon Knight with even like a slight bit of relevance who could be added. Come on, bro, she was in Ultimate Alliance 3. Give her a chance. Funny gun lady. I am adding this exclusively to piss off a friend. Fuck you. I could see Quicksilver working well, but I just don't really have any ideas to follow through on it besides just chain moves and using fast a bunch. This was another one of those things where I thought of the character first, then the idea, but then I just couldn't think of anything else. Plus, it would be weird to have just fucking Mr. Fantastic by himself stretching a bunch without the fucking rest of the Fantastic Four. But hey, if Doom's gonna be a person in the next game, you know, one of them wouldn't be that bad. Maybe two at most. Honestly, it feels like the fucking Wasp has a better chance of being in the game than Ant-Man, but I just want to get him one because he was robbed in Ultimate Alliance 3. So, yeah, go get him. And yeah, that's about everything. Like I said, the value of an okay game, because this game is okay. It's good. I want to see it succeed so it can evolve into a great game, a peak game. But it's just probably not going to happen, so we're going to be left with just the one. But hey, at least this one is still fun and cool, and I recommend it wholeheartedly, because it is okay. How long did it take me to come to this conclusion? Oh, goddamn. Hey guys, I don't have the full audio setup for this one, so sorry if it sounds like poo-poo feces. Anyway, I want to thank Harmony Pond again for drawing this peak part of the thumbnail. It's fucking awesome, and you should follow her on Instagram now, or else. Also, time for that ending rant part that we all love so much, so fucking much. It's summer right now. It's super hot. And hopefully I can get a slightly bigger-ish video like this one out before school starts and eats all of my time up like a fucking locust. But I hope you guys enjoy this video. Please, like I said, subscribe, like, watch the video, fucking loop it a bunch. I don't give a shit. But, you know, I can hit 1,000. That would be pretty neat. Yeah, well, you know, don't. And also play Midnight Suns, please. I would love to see the second DLC pack get made. That would be peak. But anyway, I think that's about it. Alright, see ya for realsies.